Welcome to the Nightly Rant
with
your hosts, Mike
and Torya.
This is the show where we examine society from a sarcastic point of view.
If you like insane conversations, this is definitely the show for you.
Let's get into today's topic. What's officially back to being hot as hell here?
Yes, the desert summer has arrived.
We had to leave that baseball game early yesterday because we were roasting out there.
And both have a touch of sunburn,
Well,
even after wearing sunscreen.
When our seats, which usually wind up shaded, were in the sun the whole entire 5 innings that we were there.
I think that was our last afternoon game.
Yeah, that's what you said yesterday. And I hope so, because that's pretty unbearable sitting out there in 105 degree weather.
Yeah. It's
So-
a lot. 105 is a lot.
So I understand you wanted to ask me something.
I don't want to ask you anything, but I do have an Am I the Asshole to read to you.
Cool.
I'm just going to get right to it. My boyfriend likes to be called daddy in bed while we're being intimate. I've obliged this request, but it's starting to creep me out, and I've decided I don't want to do it anymore. He's not happy with this and insists it has nothing to do with the connotation of the word. He just simply enjoys hearing me say it. Sorry. I feel like I'm going to throw up a little. Since he wasn't budging on the issue, I told him I'd like for him to call me grandma in bed as a compromise. He didn't like this option and said it was giving him visuals he would prefer not to have. Like, okay, join the fucking club. Anyway, the last time he tried to initiate intimacy with me, I started to refer to myself as grandma in the third person. Do you like it when grandma does that? Etc. And he flew off the handle, said I ruined the mood, made him feel gross, and I was being ridiculous. I think I proved my point, but he thinks I'm an asshole, so am I the asshole?
I don't know that there's any asshole here because, I mean, he asked for something, she gave it, then she changed her mind, decided she didn't want to do it anymore, and she even told him so. She didn't just stop doing it, told him. And you know how she told him? Because she said he wasn't happy with that. So she had to have told him, I'm not doing this anymore. So then she pulls out the grandma thing. Hey, if he likes to hear her say daddy, then maybe she likes to hear him say grandma.
Maybe.
But that doesn't make him an asshole either.
No, it just makes me want to hurl.
Yeah, it's a very disgusting topic.
You should all see the look Mike is currently giving my phone that I read the...
It's nasty. It's just nasty. Well, I don't understand the father having sex with their daughter attraction to people. I don't get it even a little bit. Not even the tiniest bit. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's really quite frightening.
But I mean, there's a lot of things that don't make sense to me. Like, you know that I purposely don't like, I'm going to put in quotes, check out women most of the time unless they're clearly
Adults.
Well of age. Because you don't know these days the way people dress. And this isn't a complaint. It's just me stating facts. The way people dress, a lot of women who are like 15 and 16 years old look like they're 22 and 23 years old.
Well, especially since women are no longer growing out of the things they liked when they were children. Like 20-somethings are still liking My Little Pony and whatnot. So it makes it even more confusing.
This is twisted, but it actually does relate to this. It makes me wonder sometimes, like when men who are like, I don't know, 21, 22 years old, and they're out somewhere and they meet a woman and the place is like 18 plus and they go home, they have sex. And later they find out that she was 15 and that she lied about her age and they go to jail for statutory rape, or at least they go through a trial for it. I've never understood that, because how it would have worked if a police officer happened to stroll into the club.
She would be the one in trouble.
She would be the one in trouble for using a fake ID to get into the club. Not the club wouldn't get in trouble.
You think it would be entrapment because she purposely was a place where only adults should be adults.
If the club's not going to get in trouble for serving her alcohol after checking her obviously fake ID, what are they going to say? He should have checked her ID? If the club didn't notice that it was fake,
how is he
certainly
going
not
to
going to
notice?
notice. And he's going to assume that if she was drinking alcohol, that she's 21, because she did have to come to the club and the club does have to check her ID. I've never understood that. And it happens more often than it should.
Actually, I know somebody who spent 6 months in jail because this girl lied to him about how old she was, and then her parents found out.
When I thought of this because we were talking
So,
about I don't ever look at another woman unless they're like of age. Like I'm talking, they got to look like they're in their 30s, never mind 20s. And
fair
and
enough.
then I thought to myself, but in reality, in Vegas, you have an advantage. If they're drinking, then they must be 21. And then I went, wait a second, though. There are men who have gone to the club, seen a woman drinking, gone home with her, had sex with her, and then ended up in jail because she was 15.
Well,
That's
who
when I
says
went,
somebody else didn't buy her the drink, or she
well,
doesn't have a
yeah, you
very
don't
convincing fake ID?
you don't even know what the deal
Trust.
is. And that's the thing. Like you just have to trust your gut and stay away. But there's a lot of men that don't even care about that. The younger, the better for them. And I think it's disgusting, first of all. But
Come on now, look at the strip club, the freeway. Their sign lately has been hiring hot 18-year-olds. Like, they want them as young as they're legal.
yeah, and they do this from what that Uber driver told us a few years ago. And I've paid attention to it since we've moved here. They do it right around the time that school lets out.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the now hiring class of 2024 sign to go up because there was a now
That
hiring
was the one
2023
2023 last year
and
and
2022.
2022 the year before that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's high school graduation time.
That's the thing. That's why they post that whole looking for 18 year olds because they know those girls have graduated from high school. What's funny, that exact attitude, like if I were to go to a strip club, it would have to be with you. I don't want to go to a strip club with other people. So that exact attitude right there, the hot 18-year-olds, is exactly why I wouldn't want to go to that strip club no matter what.
Yeah, because what if they had a fake ID and they
It's not even that. It's like, I understand that 18 is legal, end quote, but still, it's like, for me, that's no. Hand waving across my throat. No. It's just a no for me. And I know age is just a number, blah, 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 but come on. What would I have in common with an 18-year-old? Look at the broistas at Dutch Bros. Name something I could have in common with any of those girls.
you like Yogi? They like Yogi. That's about
The
it.
not sustain a relationship.
Yeah, he's cute, but
And he ain't going to live forever.
he might live until they become interesting.
I don't know, man. I'll probably be dead by then, by the time they become interesting. And it's just a fact of life. Even though I don't think there's like this maximum age difference, I think that's up to the people. But see, that's the whole point. It's up to the people. And this people right here is, I wouldn't have anything in common with someone that young. So why would I bother? Interestingly, my youngest son he's in that age range.
Yeah,
And I have a lot of things in common with him
but
and I
he's
get along with him.
basically you.
But he's more like me and he's also more social. Like he talks more.
Right.
I don't know. Sometimes I crack up like when we know more about promos or whatever that are going on than they do at their own place where they work. And I think it's because most employees of places like that, they don't put in a lot of effort. They just cruise through the day. Oh, I got here at this time. I leave at this time. But they don't put in the sincere effort to get to know what their job is up to and what they're
Well,
promoting.
that's the case for most minimum wage employees, regardless
Yep.
of their age.
Yep. No, I'm
You know?
just saying. But over there, it's just that's why I'm not even talking about age at that point. I'm literally talking about just, hey, it's weird how we know more about what's going on than they do. Somebody told us that your watermelon fizz was going away at the end of May. It doesn't go away till the end of June. And it's posted right on the sign that they see every day. That's why I don't understand why a lot of them don't know what's going on. They walk past the sign every day. Do they not look at it ever?
You'd think they'd have a board minute where they'd just be like, I'm going to read this super monotonous sign while I stand here and wait for
But
something.
they don't. They don't even care.
Weird, I think.
I think we're
That's-
more observant than the average person. That's for sure.
We're weird, like I said.
Because even people we know that I consider smart, we're more observant than they are.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. And I don't know why it is a thing, but it is a thing. But to go back to that situation there, who do you think is the asshole
Oh, I don't think anybody's an asshole.
with me?
They're not compatible in a relationship together.
No.
Because if he's going to insist on something that gives her the heebie jeebies in bed, that's one of those places where you really have to compromise and everybody has to be comfortable or not fucked.
It is a place where you have to mutually agree upon whatever happens there.
It doesn't
And
seem like they're compatible in bed at all. And if she likes him,
relationship.
then maybe they should just be friends.
But what I don't understand is why her calling him that is such a deal breaker for him. And that's why I don't buy his excuse that he just likes to hear her say it, because she can say it any other time if he'd like, but that creeps her out. But he don't want that. He wants it then.
When they're young, the post said she's 25 and he's 28. So they're at like the age where they're dating to maybe get married and have kids somewhere in the next 5 to 10 years. But why would you want to have kids with somebody who insists you call him daddy in bed? That would really freak me out.
Yeah, it seems to be a thing, though. Like, we know this. We had that really weird interaction at that restaurant that we won't talk about again. That doesn't mean I understand it any more than if it wasn't a thing. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I guess that's why they have 31 flavors of ice cream, because everybody has their thing. But clearly, it's not her thing. And so
Right.
what I don't understand is, why is that so important to him that he's willing to let her walk away because she won't do it?
Right. I still think it's funny she asked him to call her grandma.
Yeah, but it's the idea of that was to get him to see how absurd it was. I think what she wanted him to say was, I don't want to call you grandma. That's gross. And then she'd say, exactly, which is why I don't want to call you daddy,
Right.
because it's gross.
Girl in this Am I the Asshole agrees with us.
Well, yeah, she was trying to prove a point by creating a similar example and making him react to it, like giving him the male version of what he was putting on her.
But she took it to an extra extreme level too. Like she didn't ask to be called mommy.
No,
She
she
asked
has
to
to
be
be
called
called
grandma.
grandma. That's just hilarious. But I mean, he just purposely didn't go into the issue with her. I believe that was on purpose. I think that in the end, you're right. They're not relationship compatible and they need to just go their separate ways. And I don't
Right.
think either one of them is an asshole for wanting what they want or not wanting what they don't want. But in a way, he's an asshole for not compromising.
Run now, lady.
Yeah,
Run.
a red flag.
Now.
That's a red flag. It really is. I could understand if she was like, look, I only want to have sex once a year. That's no thanks. But that's nothing like this. This
Right.
is just, I don't want to call you that. Sorry. It's not it's not my thing.
Not my jam.
I don't know. I think that people out there need to come together, need to talk to each other. And if there's big incompatibilities like that, you got to cut bait. Get out of there. It's something that a lot of younger couples these days continually fall into, is the break up, get back together scenario. Don't do it. There's a reason they say there's an X for a reason. It just doesn't work. And that's also why, another piece of sage advice,
Oof.
if you're married, stop having divorce as your go-to at every argument. If you freaking say, oh, you drank my last soda, I want a divorce. What an asshole are you? And if you're not married, maybe you're living together, don't pull the I want to break up because she drank your last soda. Stop it. That's not your first go-to. It should not be your first go-to. It should be your absolute last go-to after you've exhausted every single solitary other way. And if you don't do that, you destroy your relationship right away, because you put the other person on the constant defensive, right? Nobody needs it. Why would you'd be like, oh my God, I accidentally ate the last candy bar. Now he's going to tell me he wants a divorce. Oh my God, I don't want to deal with that. Well, who needs to go through that in their life? Come on, man. And if you care about the other person, why are you putting them in that position
Right.
where they have to feel that way? So run if people do that to you. Just take off and don't feel bad about it either. You're allowed to ask for what you want to ask for. And if they're not willing to give it to you, you get to decide, do I stay or go? So that's the knowledge I've got to throw at you today. I just, on this topic anyway, unless there's something else you'd like to discuss. I am good.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Hey.
Hasta la bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Nightly Rant.
If you enjoyed the show, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Google Play.
If you didn't enjoy the show, please just ignore that previous request for a rating.
This has been a Yogi's Podcast Network production.